Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to urge President Biden and his administration to back off on the attacks of rural America and rural Iowa. The administration has proposed changes to the stepped-up and basis policy, which is effectively the death tax with a new coat of paint. I have heard from my farmers all across the 4th District who are concerned about these changes, and they'd be financially devastating, especially when it comes to passing on that family farm to that next generation. This was confirmed in a recent study by Texas A&M and the Agriculture and Food Center Institute. It noted that the stepped-up and basis changes would impact 98% of the family farms and impose an additional $1 million tax on farms in the Midwest. It's simple. The hardworking men and women of the 4th District and those that feed the world should not have to foot the bill for the Democrats' reckless spending agenda. But Biden administration isn't just looking at penalizing rural Americans with higher taxes. They're also looking at implementing burdensome regulations that will crush rural main streets and our agricultural community in the Midwest. Administrator EPA Director Regan recently announced that the EPA would look into undoing the 2020 Navigable Waters Protection Rule, which replaced waters of the U.S. as a smarter, more efficient, straightforward approach to defining what water warrants federal regulation. A return to WOTUS, which allowed the federal government to regulate 97% of the land in Iowa, would force unnecessary and costly government regulations on the backs of Iowa farmers. There are many places the federal government bureaucrats just don't belong. And specifically, they don't belong on our family farms. When the executive branch power exploded under the Obama administration, we saw ridiculous rules implemented and enforced, leading to rising costs in the ag industry and snuffing out economic growth on our rural main streets and in our rural communities. This attempted power grab ultimately proved why water regulations is best left to states and localities. Put it simply, the Biden administration's big government agenda of rural America includes higher taxes and more regulation. But this administration isn't stopping at this 1-2 gut punch. President Biden is also looking to undermine the RFS and lowering biofuels blending requirements. This will hurt both crop growers and biofuel producers, two industries that are so critical to our economic activity in rural Iowa. At the same time, the administration has proposed and is laughing because they're spending $174 billion on electric vehicles and charging stations. A study by Biden's own Department of Energy found that 4 out of every 5 vehicles will still require liquid fuels by 2050. Think about that. 4 out of every 5 cars in 2050 will still need liquid fuels. So why is President Biden taking aim at this critical industry? It seems the Democrats are shrugging their shoulders, comfortable with turning their backs on the rural Midwest, on farmers, our rural main streets. Well, I'll say enough's enough. Rural Iowa is already suffering from high gas taxes and grocery prices due to this incredible inflation, which is a direct result of Democrats' massive reckless spending. Gas prices are over 50% higher than they were a year ago. Our food and energy prices continue to rise because of inflation. In May 2021, consumer price indexes increased rates that have not been seen since the 2008 recession. On top of that, Biden's inflation tax, our farmers can't afford additional taxes, more regulations, and other policies that will hinder the most important industries and will stifle growth in the rural Midwest, creating disaster for rural Main streets, our producers, and our family farmers. Iowa is the breadbasket to the world. That is why President Biden, please back off rural America. Please back off.
The gentleman's time has expired.
I yield back.